I'm a self-taught software engineer who's won a national coding championship, and in this video, I want to share the top 10 things I wish I knew at the start of my career. Number 1 is stop switching programming languages. I switched programming languages 4 times. I went from Java to Python to Flutter to JavaScript and wasted so much time learning different syntax when I could have just spent building projects and making them bigger and better. If I could go back, I would pick one language, build a complex project with that language, and when I have foundational experience of building multiple projects, then I would allow myself to switch over to something else. But until I understand the basics of building a project from 0 to 10 or maybe even 0 to 1, then I would look into different languages. Number 2, AI is not the problem. Your learning process is. I spent a lot of time using Claude and GPT to build my code, but I didn't learn very much at all because I wasn't stopping and taking in, digesting the code it was giving me back. If I could go back, I would use frameworks like the why, what, how, now framework. You explain why it works, what it does, how it got to that point, and what's next after this point. It could literally be any framework, but just take a couple of minutes to understand the code it gives you, digest it, and then implement it yourself using the examples and the code it gives you. A big mistake is just copy and pasting the code. You don't learn anything off of just copy and pasting, but you can learn a lot if you use it as just a blueprint to build out your project. Because once you're able to use the AI like it's meant to be, a tool rather than a whole builder for you, you'd excel much faster and you wouldn't need to use AI as a crutch. Number 3, stop overthinking and just build. I spent months of time researching the best language I should pick, the projects I should build, when in reality, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you code consistently every single day. I remember this one time, I was exhausted at the end of my day, even though I didn't do any coding, but it's because I put all of my attention into researching, into seeing what's the best thing, and all of that attention was wasted because it could have been spent just coding. That's the only thing that moves the ball forward in your skills, is code more. It sounds really simple to say, but build one simple project a day and you are guaranteed to get better. I'm not saying it's easy because consistency is extremely hard, but you have to remember, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Number 4, you don't need a boot camp or a bachelor degree, but you still need to put in the work. I personally don't have a degree or a boot camp certification, nor did I go to one, but I can tell you that I put in a lot of work. 4 hours every day for about a year. That may sound like a lot, that may sound like a little bit, but the point is nobody's going to do the work for you. At the end of the day, you are going to need to put in the work. If it's in the boot camp or if it's in college or if you're self-taught, you're going to put in the work regardless of the situation you're in. And my next statement is kind of crazy. It might make some people mad, but I think that you can become even better than the person that's a bachelor or has a bachelor degree or the bootcamp grad by just coding more and coding more relevant specific topics. Now, what do I mean by that? Say that you took the same person who spends the same amount of time in their schoolwork for 4 years and dedicated those 4 years into a roadmap of becoming the best developer you could possibly be. That person, the best developer, is going to absolutely slay the person who went to college. Don't get me wrong though, you can win regardless of the situation that you're in. Those college people, they're really smart. There's some really smart college people, but I've also met some really smart self-taught people. Number 5, courses are great, but you can go even faster if you have a mentor. They've already been down the same path as you. They know the challenges and they can keep you more accountable than you would if you were on your own. If I could go back, I would seek out more mentors. I had 4 in total. One that told me to go into web dev. One that actually helped me out inside and learning web dev. One that helped me out with some SQL. And another one that actually ended up referring me to a job. Number 6 is a job hack. So how you can get hired faster and into more specific companies that you want. I explain it as building projects specifically for that company. Now, this takes quite a long time, but what I did was build projects based on what the application says in the description. So if they have all these technologies, then I take my own combination of them and build a project around what the company already does. So if I had an animal healthcare facility or something like that, and they use React on the front end, Go on the back end, and Postgres for the database, I would make a project with their same tooling and specifically to the animal healthcare niche, and then show that to the recruiters or to the hiring people, whoever they are, the connections that I have there. And although the application might not still be up, I still get those interviews because of how much effort and preparation I put in. Now, I recommend this more if you want to get a guaranteed local job, because you can go to them and show them the project, as well as say that you're a local on LinkedIn or any of those platforms. Number 7, when your motivation wears off, that's when the real work begins. You can do this. You aren't an extreme outlier. There's someone out there that has done it with less. You just need to copy the steps they took. You will win as long as you don't give up. Whether it takes 3 months, 6 months, or a year, 2 years, 3 years, you're going to get it eventually. I believe in you. Number 8, there's only 2 actions that you need to do to get a software engineering job: code and outreach. You have to be qualified enough to get an entry-level job, and people have to know that you code in order for them to be able to even hire you. The 2 things are very simple but hard to do. You have to constantly be coding every single day, plus sending messages on a weekly or even day-by-day basis. But this skill transfers over to even when you have the job, because the way you get up to mid-level and senior and get those super high-paying jobs is consistently doing these 2 actions: code and outreach. Keep telling people that you can code and keep getting better as a developer, and you're going to land in the top 1% or even top 0.01%. Number 9 is a faster way to learn is if you teach. You've probably heard this before, but if I could go back, I would tell myself to teach to a pencil, or teach to a sibling, or teach to the wall. Teach to anything, because the recall is really, really good for learning. You can have crazy growth by just documenting what you're doing. And finally, number 10, nothing will change if you don't take action. I would watch videos like this and then continue on my day with absolutely no change. I encourage you to take action, code more, send one more message. You can even reach out to me. I have my own community in the description below. Do something that changes the trajectory of your day. The point is to keep improving, so please take action. If you like this video, you can find more about me in the description below. Peace.